Right guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today is the start of the beta blowout for the fleet carriers. Quite a few of you no doubt have already joined up, but for those of you who aren't aware, you can jump into the beta right now. That's whether they're on PC or the consoles, and grab yourself a fleet carrier for just 1 million credits. Now at the moment I'm out here in Colonia. This is an unused account, or an account I don't use all that often. A very old account actually. I've been out here in Colonia for quite a few years with it and rarely actually use it. But it's got a few tens of millions of credits on the account, so I thought I would use this account to test out purchasing a cheap carrier. So if you want to go and get one yourself and you haven't done so already, you can find the list of fleet carrier locations on the screen right here, and that's also available in the video description. Meanwhile, my destination is Jaques station in the Colonia system, and you'll also find that as well as having a cheap fleet carrier, you'll also be able to outfit all the services at a very cheap price, just 100 credits each. So really, no reason everyone can't have one. Let's see how it goes. All that said, of course, this cheap price does bring with it one particular problem, one very specific problem actually, which is a bit of a game blocker, and it may prevent you actually doing anything with your fleet carrier. And that's connected to the fact that these star systems are getting very busy with the number of fleet carriers within them. In fact, the one I purchased just here is not available in Colonia. It's actually been parked in a star system right next door. So we're going to head on over there and take a look at the brand spanking new carrier. The first thing we want to do on board then is outfit some new services. However, we can't do that from here. We actually need to be in a carrier administration system. And you can see the carrier telling us that there in the grey text just above the cursor. The trouble is, the only carrier administration system out this way is Colonia, and it happens to be absolutely full of carriers right now. So without the ability to actually get in there, we can't outfit carriers. And this isn't just limited to Colonia, but it's also affecting the bubble with every single administrative system also locked out due to no free slots. So yeah, if you want to outfit your carrier, it looks like you're either out of luck, or you'll have to keep spamming the navigation button in order to eventually, hopefully, plot a course there. Of course, the other solution is to perhaps wait it out and see what happens. Maybe it'll calm down in a few days, but with carriers being this price, I somehow doubt it. But all that said, I'm sure most of you have got some good ideas about what you want to do with your fleet carrier, so once you've got it purchased and eventually outfitted, you'll be able to get on and do that. That's exactly what Commander Cervidian has been doing over the past week. We're here way above the galactic core in his fleet carrier, the Fram. So essentially the objective here was to do a multi-light-year, multi-jump trip around the galaxy and just get a feel for what it's all like. There's a great report that Commander Cervidian has typed up on the forums, which you can find linked below, detailed in his adventures basically. Now the journey consisted of 119 jumps, totaling 56,289 light years, and all of that without actively having to search for additional fuel. Now the fuel, the tritium, was loaded up back in the bubble, 1,000 units in the fuel tank, another 25,000 were placed in the cargo hold. So basically, as soon as the fuel tank got low, it was transferred over from the cargo hold back into the fuel tank. So really, if you're an explorer and you want to head out into deep space, then the fleet carriers are certainly very viable for this, especially now with the increased fuel efficiency as well as the addition of universal cartographics on board. And again, my thanks to Commander Cervidian for letting me come along on his fleet carrier on this journey. Now there are a couple of other points I'd like to talk about in this video. One is Drew Wagar's lore tour that's continuing on, and it's very nice it is too. Now the next episode of this is taking place today, that's the 21st of May. It's scheduled for 8 PM UK time, and you'll be able to find Drew over on his Twitch channel where he'll be live streaming this. Today he's going to be in Schneider Relay in the Epsilon Indy system. You can find a link in the video description with further details. Meanwhile, Frontier this week posted some information over on the London Stock Exchange detailing the number of copies of their games they've sold. It turns out that thanks to the ongoing world situation with the virus and the lockdowns, that they've basically had an increase in demand for their games. Elite Dangerous has now sold 3.5 million copies, that's base copies of the game, they don't mention Horizons. So yeah, that's 3.5 million copies since its release back at the end of 2014. They also mention that Planet Zoo crossed the 1 million copies sold mark, so yeah, pretty good, sold 1 million copies in 6 months. So if this information is something that interests you, then you can find the full details listed below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.